Hello friends, welcome to this video, welcome to my tiny little studio in the attic. In today's video I thought I'd talk about sketchbooks, art books, show you some paintings, show you the pens I'm using, just a little art chit chat, which is what I tend to do in these videos. I just tend to share what I'm up to in my own art practice and the things I'm thinking about, the things that are inspiring me, in case they also help you in your own creative endeavours. So in the last video I shared a really simple ink and pencil drawing that I was pottering around with in my sketchbook, and that drawing led me to be reminded of this tiny little sketchbook here that I was gifted by a dear friend for my birthday, and I started it a few months ago and I'd sort of forgotten about it, if I'm honest. I have lots of sketchbooks on the go at any one time. There's a lot of sketchbooks going on. So I have come back to this sketchbook and I just wanted to talk about it because I've just used two simple art supplies in this sketchbook, which is in a little pencil case in my sitting room or in my lounge by the sofa. And so whenever I'm in there and the telly's on, I've got really simple tools, a little sketchbook, and there's just something playful about it. So sometimes I really enjoy a big sketchbook that is sort of expressive and it feels like you've got lots of room to stretch. And sometimes I really enjoy a small, intimate, low stakes, low pressure. I mean, it's little, and there's something about that that sometimes just feels like a really lovely place to work. I've just realised that I'm dressed like this sketchbook. I'm like matching my sketchbook in my attire. You know, I often dress like my art, or my art looks like the way I dress, and I think that probably makes sense, doesn't it? Our visual aesthetic is our visual aesthetic, and I often find that I'm wearing clothes that look just like the thing I'm painting or drawing. So this small sketchbook is just full of lines, patterns, shapes, explorations, little things that I'm thinking about, simple drawings of bowls of fruit, vases. And this sketchbook is half full, and there's something lovely about a sketchbook that's got lots of art in it already. It feels like a very welcoming place to create. It feels like I've gained momentum. Sometimes a completely empty sketchbook doesn't feel as inspiring to me as a sketchbook that's already got lots of my marks and explorations. So when I come back to this sketchbook now, it feels like I'm carrying on a conversation, that I'm picking up where I left off. And I've just finished some paintings and I'm sort of thinking about what paintings I'll be creating next. And I feel that this sketchbook holds the key to my next series of paintings, and I haven't really decided what they're going to be or thought about it in any great detail, but I'm sure there are things in here that would work really well in a painting. And these paintings that I've shown you in a previous video are now finished. And I really enjoyed their journey and the painting of them and how they've turned out. I showed you it in a previous video, and I think I hadn't added quite as much colour when I last showed you them, but they are now definitely finished. I have varnished them, so I put 2 coats of a satin varnish on, but I thought the varnish was a little shiny, so I've also put a coat of cold wax medium over the top. So they've got a really nice lustre, I think, now. So I've called one the Tree of Dreams and Whispers and the other one the Tree of Magic and Lights. And they're sort of stylised trees. As I was painting them and as they came to their final stages of paint, they just felt like magical, majestic trees. And there's a couple of art books that I also want to show you. I've broken my own rules. I said to myself that I wasn't going to buy any new books this year because I mostly buy things second-hand clothes, second-hand books, second-hand things. But these 2 books called to me, so I thought I'd share them with you. And this book is called How Painting Happens and Why It Matters by Martin Gayford, who is a renowned art critic. And it's quite philosophical, a little bit scholarly. Martin clearly knows a lot about art history. But what I find really interesting about this book is that he weaves in lots of artists talking about painting. But what I wanted to show you is that I have just come across this artist in this book, and she's called Jadé Fadojutimi, and she is a London-based British artist, and I just love her work. Her work is on the cover of this book, and I just think her artwork is bold and playful, and it uses beautiful sort of rhythm and movement and mark and colour, and I'm really drawn to it. And there's a quote here from her about colour. And she says, "You can breathe colour, sing in colour, see in colour, and sometimes even, if you are lucky, touch colour only to consume it emotionally." And here is another beautiful artwork from Jadé called "Phantoms Come with the Shadow of Touch." And it's acrylic oil and oil bar on canvas. Big, 180 by 170 centimetres. So a really lovely, big piece. So that is How Painting Happens and Why It Matters. And this is a book about the Scottish artist Barbara Ray. It's a brand new monograph of her work. So it's a really good catalogue or summation of her art career to date. And it includes lots of beautiful high colour images of her work. And I think I've shown you books by Barbara Ray before because I really love her work. So I didn't need a new book, but oh my goodness, do I love it. It only arrived a few days ago, and every time I open it, it just makes me really happy. Her colours are just astonishing. She clearly responds to, interprets, interrogates different landscapes, and then creates these beautiful, nearly abstract paintings that are rich in colour. And I just absolutely adore her composition, her use of colour, her use of marks, her use of different motifs. I just really admire her art. And every time I open this book, I just feel a little bit of glee. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful. So that's Barbara Ray. And it's a book that was published, I think, only this month in June 2025. And it's published by the Royal Academy of Arts. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the pens that I have been using in this little ditty sketchbook. And because they are two simple pens that are both refillable. So this is called a Pentel pocket brush pen. And I've had this pen, this is probably my favourite pen. I've had this particular pen, this exact pen, for about 8 or 9 years. I often misplace it and I feel really upset and discombobulated. So I love this pen very much. And I think what I want to do, my plan, is to finish this whole book in black and white and just have a whole sketchbook that has this sort of aesthetic. There's something really pleasing about it to me. And then when I finish this sketchbook, I have another plan. I am going to attempt to change the colour of the ink in here. So Pentel ink cartridges only come in black. In the UK, they may come in different colours in Japan. And I'd really like to use a navy blue or a blue black or a sepia. And I have the ink. So when I finish this sketchbook, I'm going to have an experiment, and I'm going to syringe some dark blue ink into one of the old cartridges. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to wait until I've sort of finished this sketchbook, and then I'm going to change the colour of this ink, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it goes. So I've got a tiny little syringe that I'm just going to syringe some document ink. This is some ink from a German brand called De Artemis, when I do that, I'll possibly share it with you. I'm a bit nervous about doing it. I'm a bit reticent about doing it because I love this pen so much and I don't want to ruin it. So I'm sort of being a scaredy cat and not wanting to change it. Honestly, artists and their art supplies are very weird. And this is another pen that I've been trying out. It's a fountain pen by Sailor. And the pen is called the Fude de Mannen, and it's a calligraphy or a fountain pen that has a very unusual angled nib at 55 degrees, which allows you to make different thicknesses of line.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin.
So that's it from me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me waffle on about art things.